Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Slasher Siblings podcast. I am your host Hayden and my co-host and sister
Cicely.
And for the very first episode, we're going to talk about The Shining. So, I don't really think we exactly figured out what we want to do, but I figure we can talk about our favorite scenes of the movie, or maybe scenes we didn't really like in the movie. Not necessarily that we didn't like any scenes, but I figured I could start off by saying a little bit what this movie's about. So I like to use IMDb for looking at the ratings and summary and stuff like that. It has an 8.4 out of 10 on IMDb. And it has over 1 million ratings.
Got a 10 in my book.
I also put a 10, but I mean I put a 10 on everything that I like for everything I see on IMDb. But IMDb describes it as a movie about a family heading to an isolated hotel for the winter, where a sinister presence influences the father into violence, while his psychic son sees horrific forebodings from both past and future. That's a pretty good description of the movie.
Came out in 1980.
Yeah, it came out in 1980, and it's rated R. 2 hours and 26 minutes.
Rated R.
There's a bunch of trivia. There's 276 trivia for this movie.
Oh my god.
And there's 65 quotes that people thought were super interesting. Like, here's Johnny.
Here's Johnny!
It's actually probably my favorite one. There's 103 goofs for it. I'm obviously not going to read all of them, but...
Did you say goofs?
Yeah, like they messed up some things.
Oh.
Like maybe a camera was seen in a mirror, or like gifs. Anyway, obviously I'm not going to go through all 276 trivia, but I remember reading a trivia a while ago that someone said that the Here's Johnny thing wasn't even in the script. Jack Nicholson just said that because of
Johnny Carson.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was actually pretty perfect. Obviously, they just seem to be... There's a lot of stuff that was different. So we can start off with some of our favorite scenes. Like I said, that Here's Johnny scene is probably my favorite in the entire movie. When I first... The first time I saw that movie, the axe coming through the door really did scare me. Even though, like, I knew he was swinging an axe at the door, it scared me pretty good. But like we were saying, the Here's Johnny thing being ad-libbed kind of added that sort of terrifying aspect to it, just seeing his face shoved into the door like that. I have here, Jack Nicholson was perfectly casted for this movie. There's deep fakes on Facebook and the internet and stuff, like Jim Carrey and other people's faces put onto, and out of all the different deep fakes that I've seen, none quite hold up as well as Jack Nicholson. Obviously one of his earlier movies was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
That's a good one.
That's a very good movie, but
I like him in that movie too.
It seems like I think that they may have seen his work in that movie and thought that he played a very good, like, psychotic character, I guess you could say.
I don't think anyone else could have been Jack.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, it's kind of funny that his name is Jack too.
Yeah.
Jack Torrance, played by Jack Nicholson.
Danny's real name is Danny.
They said something about the kid having an easier time with being Danny when his name was Danny or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I think that probably for child actors, having your own name in the movie is probably easier for you to remember. But I also have that he was perfectly casted too.
He is the cutest little thing.
I don't think that you have too many... I mean, you do have a lot of options when it comes to child actors, but I think that when it comes to their ability at however old he was in the movie, you kind of have to sometimes you just have to kind of take the leap and hope that they're good. I'm not saying that he was bad, I'm just saying, like, I hope he was good kind of thing.
Yeah, because it's a child, you can't really expect...
You can't expect Jack Nicholson's, acting ability from a 8-year-old.
I don't know, he did pretty darn good.
No, he did really good. I don't think he went on to do too much acting after that.
I guess that was his only, movie he was in, but he did a cameo in Dr. Sleep.
Oh, okay.
But that's it. He didn't do much after that.
I didn't think so. I think the doctor scene when
he's in bed and
he's like sick and stuff, I feel like that scene perfectly explains who Tony is. And I know Tony is a very big presence in the book, like way more than the movie. But in the book, he's he actually shows up as like a material person in the book and
Oh,
talks to Danny and
interesting.
stuff. But the doctor, I feel like, explained Tony to us perfectly. Whereas in the book, it was just like assumed that we knew who Tony was. We just knew he was an imaginary friend.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the actual movie.
No, Danny said that Tony was his imaginary friend that lives in his mouth and
I
then
mean, he
would
does-
hide in his stomach.
He does say that in the book. That's actually in the book. But
Uh-huh.
in the movie, you don't see Tony. You just see him. Well, he's the finger. He's the iconic finger thing. There's a lot of iconic stuff in this
Sometimes
movie.
I like to talk with my finger like that.
Like the cigarette ash,
Could you imagine like ordering food at a restaurant?
and you're using your finger. The cigarette ash on her cigarette.
Yeah.
That's iconic right there. That's one of the biggest things everyone knows. Not a more anxiety-inducing moment than waiting for that cigarette ash to fall off her
Yeah,
cigarette because
I
it's
know.
3 inches long. But she quit smoking though in the book.
Oh.
Jack was the one that was still smoking throughout the book, so it was kind of interesting to see it flipped like that because
Yeah.
you don't see Jack. I think I saw Jack smoking in the
I don't think so.
because he quit smoking and was an alcoholic for most of the book.
Oh, he quit drinking in the beginning of the movie, and then he was like,
Yeah,
what?
he- So he quit right after
Sober
he
for a
broke
while.
Danny's arm.
Yes.
But
Uh-huh.
in the movie, he dislocated his shoulder. But
Oh, he broke his arm in the book.
yeah, right after he broke his arm, he did quit drinking. But he had like really bad struggles with it, like anybody
Yeah.
would, having quit stuff cold turkey. But a very good moment when they started to introduce the Shine into the movie. So we thought maybe this imaginary friend might have been telling Danny stuff, but then when they finally showed the Shine, it was almost like this superpower kind of thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was really, really cool. Dick Halloran
Uh-huh.
saying like, this is called the Shine. Me and my grandma used to talk to each other without even opening our mouths and stuff like that. That was such a cool scene to
Yeah.
see of them
like
like
that
talking
scene.
to each other without talking to each other.
Uh-huh.
He was perfectly casted too, which I mean, he does die after this movie, like the actor, which sucks. He couldn't be in Doctor Sleep, but I think he was old in,
Yeah, he was older.
in this movie, and this was 1980. So
Yeah.
what was it? 2019 Doctor Sleep came out.
Yeah, there's no
So he
way.
would have been super old at this point. I think the relationship between Halloran and Danny is perfectly built. He starts to trust Halloran,
Yes.
like very quick. Well, not very quickly, but like the way they talk to each other,
Yeah.
and how they talk to each other in their minds.
I just
and,
feel like he has no one else.
that really understands him.
Yeah, so he kind of like latches onto him a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And the iconic big wheel. Everyone knows the big wheel. If you're a big fan of horror movies, you see like a sticker or a picture of a big wheel, you got to think of The Shining. Even if maybe you haven't seen it, it's been everywhere. The iconic carpet too. Everyone knows that carpet. It's even in Toy Story. In
Is it?
Sid's house. The
That's
kid who
funny.
blows up the toys and tears them apart and
Uh-huh.
stuff.
Yeah, I know who
his
Sid is.
carpeting in his house is the Shining carpeting.
Ah.
Oh, the twins? That was
yeah.
that was really creepy. Extremely creepy.
Always so creepy.
I don't care how many times I watch that movie.
Ugh, they're just so creepy.
I know. And the way they talk and
Hello,
stuff.
Danny.
Yeah.
Come play with us forever.
I like the dissension into madness too. It's not like a quick just, oh, Jack's crazy kind of thing. It was like a gradual thing throughout the movie. It's like
Yeah.
he's writing a story and then he's staring out the window. And he's back to writing his story and then he wants to kill him. Like, it seems like they really took their time in displaying the craziness of, Jack
Yeah.
sitting into this hotel with his wife and child and no other people in the entire hotel. The Lloyd scene, I always like that scene where Lloyd comes out and he's talking to
Yeah.
him at the bar.
Yeah.
I really like that scene. It's like, because it shows that split second before where the bar's empty, the ballroom's empty, and then all of a sudden the bar's full and he walks up to it and then there's Lloyd. And then there's all the people dancing behind him. It kind of cements that Jack's going crazy feeling.
So, do you think that's in his head, or do you think he's like going back in time, or do you think he's like where he was supposed to be?
I kind
know what
of
I'm
feel
saying?
like the ghosts were starting to come out.
Okay.
I feel like Jack's deteriorating mind kind of made him weak and susceptible to the
spirits, yeah.
spirit's influence and stuff. I feel like his mind was already starting to be rocky. I mean, he's been addicted to alcohol. He's guilty over breaking in the movie dislocating Danny's shoulder. He's still guilty for being mean to, Wendy and everything, but like with those kind of things, it makes it look like the spirits were they were taking advantage of it, but that scene there makes it seem like he's already at the falling point. It's just a matter of getting to the point where they can take over his mind, kind of thing.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Let's see. I wrote that down. The ballroom scene showing a hold on Jack's mind. I wrote that down, so that was the thing I already had written down. The red rum.
Red rum.
That scene's a very good scene, and like I said, the child actor that they had, like the red rum scene was such an iconic scene that people have red rum on stickers, t-shirts, bumper stickers, like everything.
I was gonna get it tattooed.
Exactly.
With my skeleton.
Exactly. So people have it everywhere, and most people that see the red rum know exactly what it is just because of this movie. Oh, the scene on the stairs. I have a little trivia for that. 127 takes.
Oh my god.
127. So Wendy's actress was so messed up from that
Shelley
scene there.
Duvall.
Yeah, she was like emotionally and physically exhausted from that scene.
Oh, wow.
And I have another little piece of trivia, was that Jack Nicholson was fed the one food that he absolutely hates, and that's cheese sandwiches.
Yeah, I heard that too.
He was only fed that just to get that angry and broken, mindset. That was the only thing he...
Pickles. Just pickles. I'd be acting the same way. Oh.
Well, that got him into it. It got him into that mindset of anger and disgust.
Yeah, I get it.
And then right after that, Here's Johnny scene, which, everyone loves. That's my favorite scene. I also... Well, the axe is also iconic, too. Everyone knows. Cicely pointed to a little Funko Pop of Jack Torrance with the axe that she brought special for this.
I brought him today.
We'll have to post a picture on...
He's super cute.
On the Facebook page for everyone to see it.
Look at his eyebrows.
Yeah, he's pretty pretty pissed.
Oh, cheese sandwiches.
Cheese sandwiches, that's right. Oh, here's a scene that was in the book that I really wish was in the movie. Not only Dick Halloran lives in the book, he doesn't die in the book, but he's attacked by hedge animals. So the hedge bushes that are cut into shapes and animals and stuff, like elephants and rabbits and whatnot, those come alive in the book. And like,
interesting.
Danny sees them move all around the grounds and stuff. And then when Dick Halloran comes to help to save Danny, they attack Dick Halloran before he can get to the hotel. So he's all cut up by branches and stuff, like cut through his coat and everything. But he lives. But I really wish that the hedge animals were in the movie. I know that they weren't, because it would have been a lot in CGI.
Yeah.
To make hedge animals move, but I really wish the attacking scene for the hedge animals were in the movie. A difference is, instead of that axe that he has, is a roque mallet.
What is that?
It's a French game. It's like you hit the mallet, you take the mallet and you hit the ball through the hoops. What's that game called? Croquet. It's croquet. It's like the French.
I almost said crochet.
Crochet, yes, it's a crochet mallet. A roque mallet. He beats the shit out of Dick Halloran with a mallet instead of the axe. But Jack comes back to his mind in the book and sacrifices himself by blowing up the Overlook Hotel. That's how the original book ends. And then it's the iconic ending too. It's one of my favorite endings. Danny and Wendy, escape the hotel, and Danny's talking to Dick Halloran even though he's dead. He has him in his head, and I just feel like even though the hotel takes Jack, where it zooms out of that picture of him in the ballroom at 50 or whatever it was. I feel like even though it's a sad ending, Jack being taken by the hotel, I feel like it's such a perfect wrap on his version of the movie. Even though there are a lot of differences between book and movie, you can write things a certain way, but you'll never be able to bring those pages to life 100% perfect of any book. It could be the most realistic book anyone's ever written, and I don't think anyone would be able to bring that story to life 100% perfectly. But I feel like he ended that book perfectly.
Period.
Let me hear your thoughts on this movie.
So do you think I don't know, it's just, like I said, it's one of those movies that makes you think.
Yeah,
like
that's
Pulp
true.
Fiction, like you're trying to figure out what the heck's going on. But do you think in a past life he was there and came back? Because obviously there was something there telling, like, Danny, some shit's gonna go down here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So obviously there's a connection somewhere between Danny and Dick in the hotel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just wonder.
Like kind of like a reincarnation type deal.
Yeah, actually, because that picture, when he zooms out, he's in it, and at the end I was like, oh my god, wait, this changes everything.
Well, in the book, it's said that Jack also had The Shining as a kid, but he grew out of it.
He
Danny
lost
never
it.
did because his is just like so powerful or
So
whatever.
I wonder if, I guess they were passing that down because of Dick and his grandma.
It makes you
had
think
it.
maybe everyone with The Shining has a connection to the spirits at the hotel. Like everyone that has The Shining like takes on the spirits' memories and stuff.
Maybe.
It's never fully explained in the book either, so I don't know the definitive answer, but
Just makes you think.
makes you think.
Makes you want to scratch your noggin. I was just reading random stuff, random little facts, and it says that they changed the room from 217 to 237
Yes.
because they were afraid at the actual hotel people wouldn't want to check into room 237 because of the movie,
Yeah.
like the Stanley Hotel.
Yeah.
But I guess that was like the most requested room.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
I want to stay in that
I want
room.
to stay there. We should go there. I want to. That's on my bucket list.
Yeah, that would be really cool to go.
Now, do you think the real hotel is actually haunted?
Probably not.
You don't think so?
Not just because of The Shining being filmed there or anything, but I could definitely see it as a place of like if a spirit said if a spirit thought to themselves, oh, if we want to go
This
to
is
where
the vibe.
yeah, this is a vibe. Let's go where the energy's the best. Stanley Hotel. I guess you could do research and find out if the Stanley Hotel is actually haunted or not. but
Either way, it's creepy
yeah, for sure.
and huge. Could you
Yeah.
imagine?
I
Listen, I live in the tiniest little cabin. Like, I couldn't imagine.
Being in a giant hotel
You know how many
like
cats
that.
I would have?
Yeah, probably about
Yeah, I do.
104.
As many as I could fit comfortably.
So 104.
So, next thing on my list is buying a hotel.
Buying a hotel.
Rescuing all the cats. And in the movie, they said when they built the hotel, it was built on an Indian burial ground.
Yeah,
You
that's
remember
right.
that? So I wonder if that has anything to do with all the commotion going
Well-
on in the hotel.
In the Dr. Sleep book, they touch on that a little more.
What did they say?
They don't say it too much in the movie, but like Rose the Hat, she owns the reservation that the Overlook burned down on, and they built a campground there.
Oh.
And they live there, and they've lived there for a long time because of the Indian burial ground and where the spirits were and stuff. It's where Rose the Hat and their group is the strongest. Is right on that reservation.
Their powers.
Yeah, pretty much.
You think that has something to do with The Shining?
Probably. They don't actually know that the spirits are there, but they like know they can feel the energy and feel how strong it is, but they don't actually know that it was part of the hotel or anything in the book.
I think a cool scene is when Jack's looking down at the maze. You can
Yeah.
see
You can see Wendy and Danny in
I
it.
thought that was cool. First time I saw that, I was like, ooh.
It's kind of
A little
creepy.
freaky.
But
little
that's also
freaky.
that iconic scene where he's just staring out the window.
Ooh.
It like zooms in on his face just
Yeah.
staring. I really like that scene too.
Sometimes I feel like that's what I look like when I like zone out.
Yeah, you do.
I do it all the time.
I could see someone pulling into mom and dad's driveway, and you're just staring
just
out the
staring
window
out
like
the
Jack
window.
Nicholson.
Hey, happens.
Happens.
That's why I'm wondering, is it like Tony, is he communicating with Dick? Because Dick already knew he got the job, or is it something in the hotel itself? If that makes sense.
It was more of like the hotel itself. The spirits there knew that he got that job, and then Tony had a connection through, like I said, The Shining.
Tony's got connections.
What's next?
Danny saw the murders
Oh yeah,
of the twins.
yeah.
And the blood. We didn't talk about the blood coming out of the elevators. What do
Yeah.
you think that is? I think
It's not in the
it's
book, so
the bloodshed of everybody who died in the hotel. Just going.
that's good. I could vibe with that.
Yeah,
That's a good.
that's what I thought, but I don't know.
No, that seems like a good reason as any. I mean, it makes sense. It would make sense as to why there's just this big waterfall of blood in the middle of the hotel.
Yeah,
I can't really think of a more, rational reason other than that.
I feel like it's just a repeating cycle.
Yeah.
Like since 1909 when they started having people in the hotel, and it's what this. I think this is based in the 70s, right?
So, yeah, 78 or something like that.
And I think they just keep going through people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, every caretaker there, pretty
That's
sure they said
crazy.
every, but like every caretaker there died there, like murdered his family and died there. So
That's why I'm saying, like, maybe the blood is. Maybe
Well-
it was like a warning to Danny as well. Like, hey, buddy,
you better get on
this
up
is
out of
gonna
here.
happen.
That scene actually took several takes.
I'm sure it
They
did.
didn't get it all.
Up.
They had to fill the elevator
Paper
shaft again.
towels,
Oh yeah, just
mops. Like, what? I'd be like, one take and that's it. We're done.
that's what everyone thought. They thought that they would do it one take, but I think one take was a couch being pushed in the camera. So he got mad and was like, "How we have to do it again?" And I think it was 3 total takes, and like the door didn't open correctly in the second take, so they did a third take, and then the third take was good enough, I think.
A lot of blood.
Yeah, that's a lot of blood. I forget how many gallons they said they used, but it was astronomical.
No, it was a horror movie, they say.
Oh, the actor?
Yeah, little boy.
He didn't know it was supposed to be scary,
Right.
so that was genuine fear half the time.
I guess, yeah. That's what I read on the interwebs.
Well, maybe that's another reason he didn't do too much acting after.
He was probably really traumatized.
Yeah,
From
most
that.
likely. If a kid didn't know it was a horror movie whenever he became a child actor. Did you find your thing you were looking for?
Oh, here it is. He didn't know he was in a horror movie. For protection, he was told they were making a drama.
Oh, drama to horror. That's a pretty big jump.
And he didn't see the film entirely until he was into his teens. I guess that's nice of them.
I guess, yeah.
I guess. I
Not
don't
trying
know.
to traumatize him too much, but I mean, there are some scenes in there that he had to be pretty scared of while filming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, how did they explain the twin scene to him? Would be, you know what I mean? Like, just pretend you're really scared.
Just like act shocked. Cover your face. I guess he improvised this finger thing too.
Oh yeah, I read something about that. It was something.
Cute.
Didn't he do that first? I forget. I don't
Yeah.
remember. I
and
don't
then
want to say anything
Stanley
wrong, but
liked it.
yeah, he just did it one day or whatever.
They're like, hey, that's good.
Keep doing that.
Put that in there. The elevator scene took a year to film.
A year.
A year?
It was a lot quicker than a lot longer than I thought.
Year to film.
Cause it took a while.
3 shots.
3 shots?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It required 9 days to clean up the hallway.
Yeah, I thought it was a good bit. I didn't know it was a
Wow.
year, but I remembered the 3 shots part.
Wow.
I mean, filling, dumping that much blood out of a elevator into a hallway. It takes you like an hour to clean up water you spilled on the floor, let alone all that blood in an entire hallway.
I don't think I would have the patience to clean that up.
No, definitely not. And I imagine that they probably built a set separate from the hotel. I don't think that they were dumping that blood in the hotel.
That would be really hard to do. That'd be really hard to get out of the carpet.
Not only that, but like imagine how far that blood would go inside the hotel.
There's just no way. There's no way.
I hope that they built a set. Who knows? What else you got?
I just wrote down a bunch of little, like I wrote down for some reason that it takes like on average an hour to get through the maze.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I don't
Well,
know.
it depends on if you're.
I would be in there for 2 days if I went in there.
It depends on who you are, because you were saying earlier how
I bet
people kept
you-
getting lost in the.
I bet you money Dad could get through that maze in 20 minutes.
Yeah, probably. All he has to do is look at the map, and he's like, "Yep, I know where it is."
Let me. Oh yes, the wind's blowing this way. The stars are pointed that way, and the sun is rising from this side that way. I brought my
He-
compass just in case.
If he wanted to, he could walk from here to South Carolina, where Aunt Jenny lives.
He is the human GPS. He's
Exactly.
so smart.
You said the director even got lost in the maze.
Yeah.
The
Like, could
one-
you imagine that?
The one in charge of the movie gets lost in the maze.
I would get so frustrated. I would just start like busting through the bushes.
I think there's a wall in between. I think the hedges are
Oh, God,
grown
so you
around
can't
a
do
wall.
that.
No, I don't think
Because
so.
I would.
That's probably why they did it. They were probably like, "Nah, you got to figure this shit out."
I wouldn't do that. I don't think you could pay me enough to.
I think if you put your hand on the right wall of nearly any maze and just keep going, you know what I mean? Like, just walk with your hand on the wall in a maze, that you should get back to one of the entrance or exit or whatever.
I'm gonna try that, and then I'm gonna be real
Next time
pissed
you're
when
in
I
a
don't get
maze.
out.
When are you in a maze?
Next time I find myself in a maze. Yeah, no. Ew. Let's talk about the old lady in the tub.
Oh, the tub scene.
Yucky.
Yucky.
Yucky. Actually, it makes me gag a little because she's like decomposing.
Yeah, it
She's literally. That makes me wonder. When did this happen? Like, did they lock up shop? And they're like, see ya. And they left that old lady in there to die?
no, that was a spirit. You remember how
She's just chilling in that room.
Yeah, that was room 237.
Yeah, I know.
That's the one that all the people, whatever. You see how she was changing from Jack's point of view, where he saw her as this young woman,
Yes.
back to the decomposing body. Well, that was, to me, made it seem like more of the hotel's hold on his mind, making him see like this younger woman. This to hit Jack's mind was like the sexy woman he wanted to sleep with, and it was like kind of like a contract, I guess. Like, you can sleep with this woman, but that means we have your mind to torment your family with. This kind of confirms that you're the hotel now, kind of thing.
You are the hotel now,
You are the hotel.
bitch.
What did you think of that scene?
Well, I just honestly just get so grossed out by her. Like, her skin is just coming off of her body,
Yeah.
and she's just old and laughing and walking slowly
I
towards
think she was
him.
missing teeth
Oh,
when she
oh,
smiled. That kind
God.
of creeps me out a little bit.
She starts like coming after him. I'm like, go, get out of there.
Oh, when she chased Danny.
When she chased Jack out the room, she started like walking after him, like, come back, and she's like cracking up.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
Oh yeah. In the book, that was Danny being chased out of the room. She strangled him, left marks around his throat.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, he had
Oh.
bruises on his neck, and then
Oh,
when
yeah,
he
yeah.
comes and is like, "Did you do this to him? How could you?"
That's right.
And then she's like, "Oh, it was actually an old lady. Go check it out." And he goes to check.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. He goes to check it out and like find this woman who strangled his son, and then starts making out with her.
Yeah.
What are you doing, bro?
Well,
Clock her.
He didn't know that it was her that did that. Plus, he thought
could
it was.
easily assume.
Yeah, but he thought it was like someone broke into the hotel and was like looking for somebody.
Like, I would have walked in there and been like, "Was that you? Was
Yeah.
that you?"
It was her.
Roll my sleeves up. Not choking my son. Echo. Throwing elbows. I really appreciate the ending that Wendy and Danny got away.
Yeah.
And even though I like Jack Nicholson and the movie a lot, it was very satisfying to see him frozen
Yeah.
outside,
Yeah.
and I think it was kind of funny, actually.
That was all that snow was like salt and
Salt and styrofoam.
yeah, it wasn't even snow, so that's kind of funny to think like he looks frozen, but he's sitting in it. Imagine sitting in a heap of salt and styrofoam like
That
that.
couldn't have smelled good
No, couldn't have.
or felt good.
No. But no, that, like I said earlier, that was kind of a perfect ending to the movie that he wrote, because there was no way, you know, Jack was getting out of that. He was
Yeah,
not
no.
coming back from the grasp of the hotel. He definitely wasn't gonna, in the maze, he couldn't even catch Danny.
Yeah, no.
Danny's was super smart,
Oh, yeah.
backtracking his steps
Yep.
backwards in the maze, and him outrunning Jack somehow. Like, there was no way he was catching Danny or Wendy. There was no way that he was getting out of that hotel alive. It was all pre-planned from the moment that he let the hotel take him over,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And I think it's very, I don't know. Like I said before, I don't like being chased or watching people be chased.
Yeah.
So, like, the first time I watched that, which I can't even remember the first time I watched this movie. I've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cringing, because imagine getting chased through a maze.
By doing with
Imagine.
an axe or a
Imagine
knife or
that.
something?
Yeah.
No. I don't.
No, I would
I'm
lay
good.
down on the ground.
Just
Say,
take me,
"Come
bro.
on."
Just take me.
Make it quick. Thank you. But yeah, it's one of my favorite movies. For some reason, it's a comfort movie, which might say a lot about me, but
Well, out of 10, give an honest rating, not like, oh, 10 out of 10, what am I? Give a
10
honest.
out of 10. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, but from a just pretend like you're a movie critic.
Okay. 10 out of 10.
I gave it an 8.5 out of 10.
Oh my god, what's
Which-
wrong with you?
Before
Why?
recording this podcast, I didn't know that on IMDb it was an 8.4. But
You just happened to give it an 8.5.
when I was watching the movie, I wrote at the bottom, 8.5 out of 10.
You literally thought in your head, 8.5.
Yeah. And then we came down here and I looked on IMDb and it said 8.4. I was like,
You're right.
spot on.
You're right.
No, I think that, like I said, there are things that I wish they would have added to the movie from the book, and there are changes from the book to the movie and stuff that what made it a perfect movie. But it's easily in my top 5 movies, easily.
Ever?
Yeah.
Or just horror?
Well, horror, yeah.
Because it's one of my favorite movies ever.
Kind of figured that,
Yeah.
but easily in the top 5 of my 4.
Right up there with the B movie.
Right up there with the B movie.
Barry B. Benson.
All right, I think that's all we got to talk about today.
Yeah.
We just want to say real quick before we end it, we want to thank everybody for sharing, liking, following the podcast Facebook, and to the listeners that listen to the introduction podcast and everyone who listens to this and future episodes. We'd just like to thank everyone for giving us the support, because this is all just for fun.
Yeah, I
We
don't
just-
think we expected anybody to be interested besides, like, our mom.
I mean, the last I looked, it was well over 100 people liked and followed.
That's kind of bonkers.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, so we just wanted to say thank you before we closed out. And
Thank you so much.
this podcast is releasing on October 1st. It's going to be October 1st by the time you hear this anyway. But once again, thank you. And
Ready for spooky season.
it'll be spooky season.
Let us
And-
know your favorite horror movie.
On our second episode, planned to come out the 8th, I think it would be Evil Dead 2. So stick around for that one. Thank you.
Catch you later.